GM. GM. Today's lesson is about backtesting mindset, a question I had. The question was something I think that many of you will have come across. And it is, I always get discouraged whenever I realize that my rules aren't bulletproof. I go around in circles and I end up getting nowhere. And it feels like at times, you're making no progress, or you don't know what to do, or you're having no success. So, the first thing, the best thing about testing and the best thing about the market is also the worst thing. This is sort of the paradox, I guess. It's infinite. There are literally an infinite number of variations and combinations that you could do. You could never run out of systems. If you think about all the indicators, all the different price action concepts, all the different time frames, the different assets, the different times of day, times of week, times of month, there's more data in the past that you can test that you could ever get through in a human life. You'd have to take a fucking million human lives to even get into 1% of it. There's just so much. So it's easy to get discouraged when there's so much opportunity, there's so much to do, you can sort of get frozen. You're like, where the fuck do I start? So then you try and start and you think about some systems. And I want you to think back to white belt. If you're in white belt and you haven't reached the backtesting stage yet, you'll get there. Most people, many people listening will have done backtesting. And I would guess that your path has gone something like this. You started off with a really simple system, especially if you didn't have any experience. You probably started off with a really simple system. You probably started off with a system that I gave you in the bootcamp lesson. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's a little secret, just in case you're not there yet. But there are pre-built systems that you can use, designed to just get you into the flow of backtesting. And I would bet that if you did that, you probably found it pretty easy and pretty understandable. After you've done your 100 backtests, when it's a nice, simple system, one entry, one stop, one take profit, just 3 simple rules, go and test it. And then you progress forward and you get ideas. So the best thing about backtesting is when you're doing it, you get ideas. You get all these ideas going into your head about, what if I did this? I noticed this. What if I changed that rule? What if I tried to add in this other indicator or this other concept? And that's all great stuff. You never want to step away from that. You never want to hold yourself back from that. That's really important stuff. That kind of stuff is what makes you, it's what gets you into a frame of mind. It's what gets you into a creative mindset. So you never want to stop that. Don't stop the ideas. Sometimes people say, I've got so many ideas, it confuses me. That's fine. If you have an idea, write it down. Get it out of your head, onto a note, and just leave it. And continue with what you're doing. Don't interrupt your backtesting. If you're testing something, don't stop 34 tests in and move on to something else and have another one that's got 23 tests, another one that's got 16. Don't have a bunch of unfinished business. Get into the habit of finishing your business. Remember, white belt, if you've been through it, the only goal was to do those 100 backtests. That was the focus. And you were not worried about the next system or the other system or the third system or this one or that one. You just were doing it. You were just working towards a single goal. Try keep that as your kind of North Star whenever you're testing everything, one at a time. So that's important, right? If you feel that your rules are getting all messy and all over the place, go back. Pick something simple. Now, to the point of the question. If you feel like your rules aren't bulletproof, and what he means by that is his rules are not exactly objective. The rules are up to interpretation. So you might have an idea, I want to take profit at resistance. And then you start testing and you're like, oh, wait a minute. Like, what is resistance? How do I define resistance? Oops. That means it could be this wick. It could be this order block. It could be a 4 hour. It could be a 1 hour. It's not objective. Once you realize that, stop. And instead of spinning yourself in circles and wondering, why is it this and how is it hard and what are we doing? Step back. Pick something you know is objective. It doesn't have to be the best thing ever. It won't be the best thing ever. But pick some rules that you know are objective. Whenever the 12 and 21 crosses and they turn green, that's objective. They either turn green or they don't. Whenever there's a market structure break, that's objective. The candle must close above the previous structure level, it's objective. Whenever there is an RSI bullish divergence, you can see that on the chart. You look at it, you wait, when the candle closes, confirms the div, that's it. So get some objective rules and just set yourself a task to do another 100. It's about kicking yourself back into the flow of doing testing in a consistent manner with an objective set of rules that will set you back on the path towards positive momentum. So much of this idea of my rules aren't bulletproof, I go around in circles, I don't get anywhere, it's because you're just trying to do too much. You're trying to find this thing. You're trying to find this perfect system. Even if you know that's not the right thing to do, it's easy to slip into it. You're like, I don't know if I like that one. It could be better. There's this, there's that. Step back. Just go, reset, pick a really simple system, go and do some backtests, run through a full series, get that positive dopamine hit of completing the full set, get 100 done. And then, when you're doing it, ideas will pop in, note them down, and over time you'll start to notice, okay, I now know how to add 2 rules that are objective. 3 rules, and you can start to build it and expand it, and that will put you back into the correct frame of mind. And a lot of this, so much of this, it is just mental, right? There is no such thing as an impossible system, right? It's not like if you are picking rules that don't fully work, it doesn't mean you're bad or you can't do it or you're doomed to failure. You're just getting yourself a little bit too much in your head. You have to reset, step back, go back to the basics, run through it, and build that momentum back up.